some more construction, and just, you know, keep the city, you know, growing in general. And I'm quite pleased with it at the moment. Pretty pleased with the construction and the way things are going. So as you can see over there, we've actually made a huge start on the school. Now the school is actually a pretty funny, like, it's kind of like we had a laugh building it. Now it's nowhere near completed. There's still a lot of things to do at the school, but what we've done so far, what me and Shadow did pretty late-ish last night, going on for like half, well, not like mega late, but you know, going on for like 10:30 time. We were working on the school. We were marking out some classrooms, and the school is going to need to be a lot more bigger than you guys probably imagine. Now, it's only a primary school, but if you think of a primary school, there's a year 3, a year 4, a year 5 and a year 6. So you've got to have maths rooms and English rooms for each of them years. Like for example, you've got to have a section for the year 3. Well, this is what my primary school had. My primary school had a little section for the year 3. It had a little section for the year 4, a section for the year 5, and a section for the year 6. Now, the year 3 was in one building, the year 4 was in another building that I can remember, and I'm pretty sure like the year 5 and the year 6 were like sort of like just like it, they were in the same building, but they were kind of like just up the corridor from each other. So you kind of had like one section which was the year 6. Then like if you just went through the corridor, you would kind of have like a year 5 section, that type of thing. So like that's pretty much like what we need to do. So we need to make like 3 English rooms for each section. So like 3 English rooms for year 3, 3 English rooms for year 4, 5 and 6. So you think in Minecraft terms that's going to turn out to be a little pretty big school, plus you want the classrooms to be a pretty decent size anyway, because obviously you want to be able to detail it when it comes to doing interiors. But here we go. So you've got a little zebra crossing here, which is still all part of the under construction, and this is a zebra crossing just for getting across while you're at the school. And you can enter through here. But what I think we need to do, we need to make like, I think I might make an entrance along here and get rid of a couple of the parking places, or something like that. Or like, because obviously you're not going to walk through where the cars are driving, otherwise, you know, little kids might get run over, that sort of thing. Or I might just like take out this window and put like a little door in there, so you've got a door here if you're getting picked up, and then if you are like hoping to do something like walk to school or something, maybe you're not too far away and it doesn't consist of you actually needing a lift, you might want to walk, so I might just change this window here into like a door. So in this little section here you get the reception, which is kind of like, you know, the office and everything. Now, I remember like when I first, when I was at primary school. Now, when I was at primary school was kind of when mobile phones were getting popular, like when you would like kind of like have your new like touchscreen phones, and you would take them to school. But I remember that you weren't allowed them in the classroom at the time. So like for example, if you brought a phone to school, you had to hand it in at the office, and then you had to like pick it up again at the end of the day. So like towards my like end 2 years at primary school was kind of like when the iPhones and when the sort of like, you know, like touchscreen Samsung Galaxies were just starting to get popular, and like you were sort of becoming old enough, which we would class then to be able to have your own touchscreen phone. I know like nowadays phones are so popular that you even see like 4 or 5 year olds what have a phone my 2-year-old sister, she can just pick up an iPad and she can just use it just like any other normal person could. She knows how to unlock the screen, she knows how to basically get like YouTube up, and she knows how, well, she has YouTube for kids, but she knows how to get it up, so things are a lot different now. But anyway, you get the reception. The school itself is actually called Sutton Park Primary. So it's actually like Sutton Park Primary School, which is actually pretty nice. So you come in, and this is where it gets funny now. We've like made up some like teachers' names and things like that. So for first of all, you've got the school cafe, which is going to be in here, so you can sit and have your meal. There's also some window views, and there's also another little door here. So for example, if you've got lessons like back here, instead of walking around, you can just come in here as well, and then you just join the queue. To get your dinner, there's also a candy block machine, which looks pretty nice. So here we go. So we've got English Year 3. And this is just the general simple Mr. Smith. You always get like a Mr. Smith or something as like a school teacher. That's like normal. So then you've got another English Year 3, and now you've got Mrs. Whale, which is quite funny. But I'm pretty sure throughout my school time, I do remember having a Mrs. Whale, like no joke. Like I'm pretty sure at primary school there was such a thing as a Mrs. Whale. I remember a Mrs. Dixon in year 6, but like I don't think I ever had a Mrs. Whale as a teacher, but I'm pretty sure I remember a Mrs. Whale like from like school. Then we've got another English Year 3, and we've got basically Mr. Carey. So he's another English teacher there, and that's more or less it. Like that's it in terms of like English Year 3. So you've got the 3 classrooms for the English Year 3, bearing in mind that on your like timetable, it might not actually be like, you might like, not every Year 3 student might not have like English. Only a small section of the year might have English, and then there might be like a swap over in the sort of like after one lesson maybe, then sort of after that you'll have maths. I know at my primary school, like your English and your maths was kind of like one classroom, so like there wasn't loads of like you didn't go like somewhere for English and you didn't go somewhere for maths in primary. Like I remember like in my school you kind of had like one teacher, and then they'd like teach you for maths and English as well. But then when you got into the later year, like year 6, you actually went to a different classroom for maths, and I think there was maybe still the same teacher for English, but you more or less had like one teacher what more or less like teach you everything in that one classroom every day. But this one you'll have an English and a maths room as to go to, and then like you'll have like an ICT room. So basically like all your day will just fill out with a bit of English, a bit of maths, well a bit of English, a playtime, a bit of maths, then maybe like a lunchtime, or maybe like an English, maths and a playtime, and then maybe like something else. If the lesson's an hour long, school will start at 9, so you'll start off with like a bit of English for an hour till like 10, then you'll start off with like, you'll have a little playtime till maybe like 10:15 or something like that, or maybe like you have a half an hour break till 10:30, and then you'll basically have you'll maybe have like another lesson. You get the point. Like basically you get how it's going to go. So then you've got the pupils of the month. So these are people who have been the best behaved for the month in the school. These are like people who have like behaved in lessons and done a lot of good decent work. So basically you get Anthony Belland, which was actually just a little funny joke, Jamie Loveridge, Jessica French, Danny Downey, Sue Lass and Tommy Shoemaker, or Shoemaker, whatever you want to call it. So you can see there that looks pretty nice. And then we've got the staff room, so the teachers can go and have like a cup of tea themselves at break, that type of thing. Oh, I just need to do something a sec. Alright, there we go. So then you've got the maths year 3, so this is all the year 3 maths rooms. So we've got Mr. Plum for this one. So Mr. Plum is doing this maths right now. So there's Mr. Plum. He teaches in that room. That's his classroom. Then you've got Mrs. Pickle for Maths Year 3 as well. And that's as far as we got with Maths Year 3. So then we come down here where you get the basically the English and the Maths Year 4. So this one you've got Mrs. Dean. I remember a Mrs. Dean in my primary school, but she wasn't a teacher. She was kind of like one of them like teaching assistants what come and like help out in a lesson, like, you know, people who need a bit more, like, I'll admit it was me, like I needed a bit more help in some of my lessons, so I had to have like a teacher what used to come in and help me. She did come in with another person as well though, because there was a person in our class who was paralysed in a wheelchair, and she mainly did come in for like this person as well, because this person literally could not like move her arms to write or speak. She'd only like be able to like answer you by nodding her head, so she needed a teacher with her, like a teaching assistant with her like all day, like every day, whether it be like break time, whether it be lunch time, whether it be like, you know, the end of school, a teacher would have to go and like wheelchair her to the parent, that type of thing. And you know, like she didn't come to our big school, she had to go to a different school then, but I used to help look after that girl because it was like really disappointing. But we had a Mrs. Dean anyway, which came and helped out in our lessons. She also helped me out quite a bit as well, and yeah, but this one's an actual teacher this time. So then over here we've got English Year 4 again with Mr. Green. In my secondary school, on my first year of secondary school, we had a Mr. Green as the head teacher, but then he actually retired. We've got English Year 4 again, so now we've got Mr. Bumby, which is another maths teacher for English. Oh wow, have I been... Oh yeah, I've actually put English Year 4 and then Maths Year 4 up here. Like maths, alright, I need to change that at some point. This should be English. Silly me. Then you've got that school cafe again. And then you've got the sports hall here, so the little like kids sports hall is going to be like back here, that type of thing. And then, you know, stuff like that, which is going to be like pretty cool. So then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do like a playground, and then I'm going to do another building just a little bit further back. I don't know exactly like where, like further back this way somewhere, and that's going to have the Year 5 and the Year 6 and the ICT and art rooms in. So this is going to have like a lot of English and maths, but like there's also going to be like the ICT suite. Now in our primary school, you had to book the ICT room, so like we didn't have an ICT room. Like basically if they could book us in, we'd go in and have an ICT lesson, and like it'd take it in turns, like whereas like you wouldn't like have a specific like ICT lesson which you would have like every single week and go to. Be kind of like if they could book, then you'd get like a few hours, like maybe say like one English lesson or something. They'd like take you to an ICT room instead. That used to happen. So that was like it, but you know, we've got a pretty decent plan for it. So now we've got the maths room, we've got Mrs. Chippy who does the Maths Year 4. We've also got Mrs. Wonder rather, who does the Maths Year 4, and then we don't have a name for this one yet, or we might have done actually. Oh yeah, I know. A lot of misses. We need a Mister for the Maths Year 4. Let's think of a name together. Why not? So we have got Mr. We've got Mr. Wright. We'll have Mr. Wright. Oh wow, I forgot. Maths, Mr. Wright. So Mr. Right can do the maths there, and then maybe in like year 5 we'll have like a Mr. Left just for like opposite. I don't know, like, you know, just trying to make it a bit more interesting rather than, you know, coming up with some funny names. Which is what like what we like to do in the videos, such as the MC Noble things. There was like an interview, and we didn't upload it because, well, we uploaded one, but we went wrong on the video because people started laughing. But I literally came up with 2 names for like people who helped with the backstage, and one of them was Sniffy D. And the other one was Sarah Goodbody, and for some reason they found Sniffy D so like funny, but like I have to admit it's a bit of a peculiar name, but Sniffy D, like I didn't think it was like hilariously funny, but I mean like I could kind of see like where it's a bit weird. But it's kind of close to someone I actually know in real who has a similar name. Like, we don't call him Sniffy D, but we call him Smithy instead, because like his name's George Smith, and we call him Smithy, but not like Sniffy D or anything like that. But we always go like George Smithy, or, you know, like just Smithy in general. And we actually have a person called, well, there's a friend of mine who I know called Jacob Green, and like as long as I can remember knowing him, he's had the nickname Noodles, or like Noodlehead, or Noodles, or like Noodles, Noodle Pop, and all through like primary school, all through big school to even now, like when I like last saw him, people were still calling him Noodles. I don't get like why they called him Noodles, like if there was somewhat what like made him kind of like have that nickname. And then obviously, you know, like Noodles is just a bit of a weird name. But I don't really know, like, I've had a lot of, like, different names. Like, first of all, I've had Ash. I've also had the name Ashy Bashy. I've also had the name Ashenbacker. I've had Nobles. I've had Nable. And then I've just had Noble. But the most common one is just Noble. Like, Noble is just the most common name. Or Ash. Noble or Ash is the name which usually gets used the most now. But I don't know, like, I don't know why, but it's just the way it is, isn't it? So Mafia 3 comes out tomorrow. I cannot wait. I'm not getting it tomorrow, but I'm hopefully going to pick it up on Saturday. If I can get it on Saturday, that'll be pretty good. Like, I can go somewhere on the bus on Saturday and get it. And the good news is that Sunday I might be home alone. Now this is only like a minute might, but if I'm home alone, it gives me the chance to play Mafia 3, like just to properly have a good play of Mafia 3 by myself, like without like getting interrupted, or, you know, just a really like time to be on my own and play Mafia 3. So I'm pretty like looking forward to Mafia 3. But if I don't get it this weekend, like, I'm not going to be like one of these people what like get it 10 months later. Like, I'll either get it like close to the release, or I'll be just like a couple of weeks out. But I've literally got like in mind to get it, really like in mind to get Mafia 3. So like I really want to get Mafia 3 so bad. I can't wait to play it. Like, apparently, I don't know if this is true, but apparently it's supposed to be the best open world game like since Grand Theft Auto 5. I don't know if that's true, but apparently it's supposed to be the best open world sort of like Grand Theft Auto style driving slash shooting game since GTA 5. But whether it actually is or not, it's too. Who are all these people? Go away.
Wait.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Who's this guy making all the noise? Yeah.
Goodbye. I don't have a clue who they were. I don't have a clue like who they were one tiny little bit. I don't know, they probably knew Camo, but you know. So yeah, so hopefully Mafia 3 becomes a thing this weekend. Buzzing to get it. Because, to be honest with you, in my personal opinion, like, I like the Mafia series, right? But my favourite style of game is kind of like Mafia / GTA 5 styled games. So, like, to be honest with you, I think, like, I'm getting a bit bored of not being able to play GTA, because I like a game where you can, like, run around the city and, like, steal and drive cars. And, like, I think, like, what I'm looking forward to is just being able to do that again in Mafia as well. Like obviously the story and the missions are going to be good, but like I just enjoy like playing like driving games where you're like able to like get in and out of cars and practically go like anywhere on the map, like in this like open world map. Like the map's obviously not as big as Grand Theft Auto 5, but like it'll still be cool to like, and plus it's different to play it like in the 60s, like to drive like 60s styled cars and things like that. So I'm actually looking forward to playing Mafia quite a bit. To be honest with you, like I enjoy Minecraft, but the PlayStation's been getting boring for me, because like usually like when I had GTA, I could play like a bit of Minecraft, I could play a bit of GTA, you know, and I could do some things on there. I had my role-playing series, which was like pretty fun and interesting to do. And then, you know, like now I don't have GTA because I'm not really into football games. I'm not really into sort of like, I'm not into too much like wrestling games that much. Like I don't mind them, but it's not my like absolute favourite type of game. Like it's not something like I get hyped about, like when a new wrestling game comes out and like something I like pre-order or buy on the day release. But I don't mind wrestling games. I'm not into really like Call of Duty anymore. Like I did like Call of Duty, like I liked it, but I never like loved it. Like it wasn't a game I got hyped about getting it on day release or pre-ordering it. Call of Duty was just one of them games where like, you know, if I was like looking for a new game and, you know, it was obviously the newest one and it had been out you know, a little while and gone down in price, then I would kind of like, you know, think about just getting it and trying it out. But Call of Duty's for me, they've just made too many in my opinion, and they've got boring. You know, and the thing is that they come every year as well. Like I know there's a lot of Grand Theft Autos, but there's sort of like a big like 5-year gap sometimes between the GTA. So when a Grand Theft Auto like does come, you're kind of ready for a new one. You know, like whereas like by the time like it takes some people to like, you know, like get really good at Call of Duty, by the time they do, or by the time they've master prestige. I know some people already nearly have, or some people have done it before, but by the time they like really master the game, a new one's coming out. Whereas like the thing I like about GTA is that you get a good like 4 or 5 years to really play the game, really explore the map, do all the missions. You sort of like get all these DLCs what are coming out, and then like within a few like you know, within like 5 years time, they'll start like you know, kind of like, you know, bringing out a new GTA. But the thing about GTA is you get so many like rumours and leaks. Like as soon as one GTA comes out, there's already like rumours and fake trailers going about next GTAs, and it like gets you so much more hyped up. Whereas like Call of Duty, like the only thing you're really looking forward to is kind of like where it's going to be set and kind of like the name of the game. like other than that, you kind of know like you're just gonna play a round of team deathmatch, you're gonna rank up, you're gonna get care packages and supply drops and things like that. Whereas like GTA, there's like so much to think of, like how big's the map gonna be, what songs are they gonna put in the radio station, how will you access your weapons, what will it fit, what will it sound like firing a gun, what cars will be in it, you know, what companies will be in it, will you be able to have apartments, will there be an online again? Like with a new GTA, there's so much like you can question, and there's so much you can actually think about. Whereas kind of like a Call of Duty, there's not as much to think about, and you kind of know what it's going to be. Whereas like GTA could be just completely different from the last one. You know, for all any of us know, it could be a completely different styled game. Like it could be like in a totally different city. The map could be like 10 times bigger than the GTA 5 one. You know, you could like play it so differently. And in my opinion, I think it'd be really, really good. But there is a few things what lack in GTA, and for like the past like 2 GTAs, like GTA 4 and GTA 5, I've kind of been like hoping for this feature, but it's never come. And well, it's kind of 2 features actually. Now I know like, well, the second feature kind of more comes from GTA 5 with the online being so big, but the first feature I'd like to see in GTA 5 or you know like the next GTA, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna have to go for my tea in a minute, but the first like feature I'd like to see in GTA, like online or just single player, is the ability to indicate in your car. Like obviously, like you don't necessarily like have to use it, but if it was an opportunity where like you were like, say like where you would say like, you know, where you have do these missions and you have to like follow like another person in a car and they're not like supposed to see you, that type of thing. I think it'd be good if you could like kind of indicate to make it look more realistic, like you're just acting like another normal driver. And the second feature I'd like to see is where you get like, you say like you get like a purchase a car off of the street, which isn't like a car with like a back door to open, you know, like in real life if you have like a 2-door car instead of a 4-door car, you can lift up the back seat and then like someone can still sit on a back seat. In my opinion, if you would like to hold a button like in a car which doesn't have 4 doors, and then it would give you the option to get in the back seat, I think that would be like pretty cool. But anyway, I'm going to leave the live stream there so I can go for my tea. Like, subscribe, comment. We'll see you in the next one.